Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Long Island Craft Guild General Meeting tonight. I'm Nancy Yoshii. I'm Vice President. I'm standing in for Judy Caston, our president, who couldn't be here tonight. I'm going to ask Galina to introduce herself. She's a wonderful knitter and a lot of other things.
I was born in St. Petersburg, Russia, the beautiful city of white knights. And I graduated from high school. It's a special art school. Then I have a degree in industrial design, master degree. Basically, as a requirement, I was working 4 years as an industrial designer in St. Petersburg. Doing a lot of different work after that, because basically all my love was in fibers and textiles, as probably you read this in introduction. So I was teaching design and composition also at school. I was doing interior decoration work. And so eventually I became a designer of Atelier of Moda. But in 1991, my life took an unexpected turn when I visited my American friend here. So just before I went back to Russia, I met someone who changed my life forever. In a few months, we got married and I stayed here. So I started kind of new career, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't know language so well. All our house was with the stickers, English, Russian, stool, chair, lamp, toothbrush. So I was learning my English basically from my husband. Luckily, he has very good skills. He's coming from a journalist family. He was really correcting me all the time. So I'm trying to pronounce everything correctly. So how I started, basically, I didn't know what to do. I have to really kind of put my roots here in United States. I tried to keep myself really busy because I was missing my mother. I was missing my family. I didn't plan to come here. It wasn't in my really thoughts to stay in this country. I tried to, I found a lot of my friends from my college here. So I took a different approach. Basically, I was painting. I was working in a textile studio. Somebody introduced me to the owner of textile studio. I was working in a textile studio. I painted buckets and furniture in Hamptons, working with antique dealers. I was sewing for my friends, knitting. Then I decided basically to start my, fashion career here. Somebody showed me a store where I could buy a knitting machine, but I never used this before. So I learned how to do my knitting machine a little bit. And soon after, there was an exhibition in Russian Museum it's called Case Museum in Jersey City, where there was a woman exhibition. So I created about 7 pieces of collection, and it was my first collection here. So I'm going to show you basically just a few slides before. So this is my work from 1982 to 24. This is my first ever fashion show in St. Petersburg, Russia. It was international show where they invited, all kind of people from different world to see the collection of young designers. So this collection actually was my first one because I never was a professional fashion designer. But a friend of mine, we did together. So she was a professional knitwear designer. So we created collection. It's called Renaissance. So that was my first ever fashion show that was really successful. So we were really happy to do that. And after that, we were invited to different countries. So basically, people invited us to do some kind of clothes. So basically, it was hand-knitted sweaters that were sold in a private boutiques in France and Germany. So the next slide is, that's that's my life in America. When I just started here, I discovered antique dealers in Hamptons. That time was country style was very popular, and a lot of antique people really wanted me to paint furniture and coal buckets. So then also I did the frames and stuff like that. So I was really happy that I found something that I would be busy and not thinking too much about my country. So soon after, I purchased a knitting machine and I was experimenting with that. So that's what my experiment. So I tried this and I tried that. So I purchased some yarns. They have a beautiful yarn stores here in New York compared with Russia. We didn't have so much really choice to really choose from, beautiful yarns and beads, stuff like that. So I was really thrilled. I was in heaven here. So after that, I got a little bit more serious. I had studio in Manhattan, and somebody introduced me to a placement fashion agency. So there was an agency called Kaufman Agency that was very famous, and they were basically help designers to find their freelance and full-time work in a high-end industry. So, and there was a person, the owner of that agency, he actually teach me how to do a right portfolio, how to come for the interview, how to say hello, where to sit, how to compliment. So the whole basically structure of the interview, I was really learning something new. So I did some sketching, and one of my sketches was, he really liked it. It was glove pocket sweater. So after that, when he was sending me to different companies and they asking who you sending us, he used to say it's a person with glove pocket sweater. So it became my signature basically. So I was working as a freelance designer and then later full-time designer in the city as a sweater designer. And it's really tiring, and this fashion industry is really rough. It's the language. I learned all curse words. I was, cursing like a sailor. My husband couldn't recognize me after my, with this accent saying F words and stuff like that. And I said, listen, we have a meetings and everybody, like somebody is from Germany, somebody from France, and everybody have a different accent saying F word. So that was kind of new introduction to me for the fashion industry. So it was really exhausting. I was tired. It was day and night, like 100 styles. You're constantly thinking about details, the cuff sleeve and the neckline and the stitches and stuff like that, nonstop 24/7. I really exhausted. And I had a friend who introduced me to Lion brand yarns. It's probably you're familiar with that because it's Michael's and the stores they're selling their yarns. So editor-in-chief of that place was Adina Klein. So she gave me a couple projects to do, and after quite a few successful projects, so she moved from that place to Vogue Knitting. And so she started giving me more work in Vogue Knitting magazine. This slide, basically, Vogue Knitting, I don't remember exactly the year. I think it was 2011. They have live Vogue Knitting live show. There was basically competition of mohair. So all designers basically from all over the world, sent their projects for this competition. It was held in a hotel in first time, actually first show Vogue Knitting did it in the city. So I sent two designs, one called Audrey, this dress. Friend of mine has a daughter, as you could see, she looks like Audrey Hepburn. And my friend, she also from St. Petersburg, Russia. She used to work as a professor teaching makeup. So we spent the whole day putting makeup on her daughter, trying to really recreate Audrey Hepburn face. So I have a video, but if you see this on my website or YouTube, you could see the whole video how we created the image of Audrey Hepburn. She has a little bangs, which Julia, her name is Julia, she didn't have the bangs. She cut little, little tail from her granddaughter and glued to her forehead. So then she put the makeup and the lipstick and everything. And so then when we finished everything, we were doing shooting of this dress. It was really beautiful. And the second one is a kitty cat. I had this beautiful mohair from South Africa. So it's a hood that's, with a zipper that starts in the center of your back, and it's coming all the way in the front as a hood. And it was a memory of my Siamese cat. So I did the cat that comes from the back to the front. So my 2 projects were selected of best 10 projects in the show. So I was really thrilled. So after that success, Vogue Knitting asked me to do similar project for Vogue Knitting magazine with another cat. So I did this project for them, and it was also in a magazine. People like that, and so you could find this, probably people who could knit could go to Ravelry page and find the pattern and knit that sweater. After the success with the Vogue Knitting, of course, if you're in a prestigious magazine, different magazines starts really sending you emails. Would you like to do something for us? Because it's basically advertisement for different companies. They're using yarns. This is another magazine. It's creative knitting. I made this asymmetrical sweater. They put this on the cover. I was very happy with that too. And this is my signature glove pockets that, the first one with the Julia with orange pants. That was my first project that I made for my portfolio. And this is my grandkids. So I made sweaters for them also, like mitten pockets and glove pockets and all kind of pockets. So every time I create something new, I always made sweater with glove pockets. People like that. It's kind of funky, and I like to have whimsical details in my knitwear. This is another one. It's a cape. It's like one size fits all with a hood and also glove pockets. It's made from mohair. The top one. The bottom one, what I did, I used to like to watch Ellen DeGeneres. I sent this sweater to her, but apparently somebody got it and never really acknowledged that they got the sweater. So I thought maybe she could fire a photograph and send me a picture. So this is Family Circle magazine. They asked me to do a project for this sweater. Usually when you have submission for any magazine or something, so I start with sketching. So you do the sketch, you do the swatch. So then, for certain magazines, you have to knit the whole garment and write descriptions, how to do this, instructions. And of course, the editors from the magazine, they edit to their own formula how they do that. So this next couple pieces, it's also from Folk Knitting International. It's not in a chronological order, whatever I'm doing this, because I have working for almost 30 years with the magazine. So basically I selected only what I kind of like myself. I'm not always happy with my designs. So I'm very critical, like every Russian, I guess. So that was in the magazine. This one, after really successful fashion shows with the Vogue Knitting, they do this in a hotel in the city. Rowan is an English magazine. They have beautiful yarn and palette. The colors, it's really incredible. So they saw my work and they helped, basically asked me to do a couple projects for them. And I'm working for them already almost 13 years. So this sweater was very successful. They asked me to repeat this in accessories, making shawls and scarves with that. And they published this after that in Vogue Knitting. And I think in another magazine also, and it's also their most popular sweater in their website. So basically, Rowan is English magazine. I'm really happy to work with them because you don't have to knit the whole sweater. So all I do when I got my submissions, with a story, so I have to think about yarn, about structure. And of course, like for any customer, I did work for Donna Karen, so I did actually the whole collection for her. You have to know what they're doing, what colors they're using, what style they're using. So no extra details or something like that. So you have to study the client. So Rowan is basically kind of classical style magazines. It's an old company in England. Most of their yarns produced in England, Italy, and it's European beautiful quality yarns. So, and I don't have to need the sample. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm very happy. So I do the sketch, I do the swatch, I do instructions, and once in a while they send me information that we did sleeve. What do you think? Should we change that? Should we, maybe change this, or maybe we could do a little bit narrow, something like that. So I'm really happy to do that because it kind of, I use more creativity towards that instead of just rushing to do knitting the sweater. Because I remember the time when I used to have like more than 9 magazines I was working. And of course, as any fashion industry, they do have a deadline, like spring summer collection. They have plus minus week or two. So you have to finish the whole sweater doing this. Of course, everybody, I was trying to make some money like any designer. But then eventually I was exhausted. So now I kind of left for myself Rowan, and I'm really happy to work with them. Recently, I had international interview, a Zoom interview with them. And of course, Great Britain, it's New Zealand, it's Canada, and stuff like that. I wasn't successful with my Zoom meeting because I don't know how to operate that. So the camera was off. Many people complained that they would like to put designer with a face and they didn't see my face. So anyway, today we have difficulties too. So this project also is from Rowan magazine. So I try to achieve like a watercolor illusion on the sweater. So I use mohair. It's a fine mohair, silk and mohair combination. So I use different shades and top stitch embroidery to basically show the like a lightness of watercolor. So that was also very successful. This sweater, oops, sorry. This sweater also was, I liked myself. As I said, I'm very critical to my work, but this was one of my favorites. And it was also on the cover of the magazine. So I was thrilled. And it was very successful. So I like geometric styles. I like geometry in shape, in patterns. Even I hated geometry at school, but still it's kind of coming back to me. So I'm using this more and I'm thinking, why didn't I study geometry at school? So once again, this is Rowan, and this is their Christmas story. So we were using a lot of like red colors. So what I like to do in my designs, I like to have little specks of different colors sometimes, but you have to keep kind of quiet on the pattern, the whole pattern. So I use 2 colors of red, and once in a while, so I did top stitch embroidery on little squares to make little fun. That was also successful. So I made the sketch with my glove pockets, but because the company is kind of classical, so they rejected that. So it was like a regular pockets. So this is another project for Rowan. So they do not only magazines production, they have their website, and so you could download the pattern from the website with instructions and knit yourself. You could order the yarns. Once again, it's beautiful yarns. This is also Rowan. This is like a oversized sweater cape, very loose, very comfortable to wear, looks great on anybody. I wanted to have like a shorter version, but even on a like a little bit fuller body, it still looks great, this shorter version of this style. I love polka dots, and this is basically sweater with the polka dots and a little purse. So you could wear that. So we use different yarns. So it was like spring collection. So I did this, it's cotton. They have all kind of variety yarns. So it's a cotton, it's, all kind of silks in there, cashmeres and wool. This is a spring magazine, 69 with basically just the bottom I use. It's called Fair Isle pattern, a little bit something on the bottom, and I don't like to overdo sweaters. I'm kind of minimalist person. So it was successful and many people knit that. This is also 2021 Rowan magazine. They put this on the back cover, which also cover, I'm thinking it's great. So I'm happy. And it looks really great. It's oversized sweater with a really loose bottom and really wide armholes and a wide bottom of the sleeves. It's very comfortable. I saw this on the runway. It looks really great. This is spring, summer. The story was basically flowers and fields and summery and wintry, and there was a lot of greens. Of course, every story, they have colors right now. So like this year, for instance, a lot of peach, a lot of pink, a lot of bow ties, a lot of neckwear, brooches and stuff like that. So you kind of like have to follow the fashion trend in order to create sweater. I didn't want to do too much, but I think the photography they're doing really phenomenal. They usually do this in Italy or Spain or somewhere in the rural England. So it looks beautiful. I thought this photograph in a flower field with this woman in a white sweater. I was really happy with the photography. This is the last magazine. You could see this magazine. I brought this here on the table. Once again, it's my work on the cover. We changed slightly the neckline that I actually suggested like a V-neck with little buttons, but I guess for the simplicity of knitting, so they wanted me to change the neckline, so I did that. And the inspiration basically came from the flowers. I like this blue, green, purple, green combinations, so I thought it's, beautiful. So this is also from Vogue Knitting. Vogue Knitting, and the bottom is a Noro magazine. Noro is a Japanese yarn company. They produce most colorful yarns and, all kind of like silks and raw silks and cottons and wool, and it's multicolors, which is not my favorite. I don't like really colors, but I usually got inspired by colors. But that sweater was really on the bottom, was very successful, and you could purchase this pattern on Ravelry page, people, buying that. And so I was happy that, I pleased people mostly. This is my custom work. This is a long sweater for one of my designer friends. Her husband is a professor in New York University. He's a fashionable guy. He wanted to have a long sweater with like a 3D effect. So I was knitting like a long, basically plain sweater in the stockinette stitch and cord, like a long cord. I was playing with that, trying to make a different composition on that. And this cord was basically attached to the front of the sweater. This is from my old collections. This is a crocheting, which I'm not really crocheting person. I don't know how to crochet much, but I do just a few things. So I ask some woman who does beautiful crochet to do flowers, and you could see this beret on top. So I have a piece of silk organza. I cut it the pattern for the beret and just sew this, the flowers on top of that. So it was easy for me. And the top was also at the bottom, this little top. It's very simple things. Basically, it's just a few squares. If you know how to crochet, you do a few squares and you put them together, and you don't have to do any more, patterning and cutting or do anything. This is my famous dog, Henry, who is always with me and bugging me all the time. So when we got this puppy, he was the best dressed puppy in the neighborhood. I made cashmere sweater with dachshund intarsia. So then I made another sweater for him. And so he loved that. So also when I was working in industry, you start with sketching, and some sketches when I send to Vogue Knitting or any other magazines, people like them. So people admire my sketches, and some of them were just kind of, they put them on the walls and stuff like that. So I recently recreated my website, and a friend of mine who helped me to do the website. So she says, well, you do sketches, maybe you should do some kind of sketches on your website. So if you go on my website, I have the cards in there. You will see this kind of funky girls. I like little whimsical girls. And so each girl kind of moves a little bit. And I thought it's really cool. And so then I got emails from people that, do you sell your sketches? So I thought, maybe I should start sketches, sell my sketches. So I have cards in here on the table, and I also printed some of my sketches on textiles. I purchased the beautiful sheer linen. It's European linen. You could wash it. And I printed my sketches on the linen and also in the silk scarves and the bags. So far it's popular. I'm happy with that. So the sketches are kind of cool. I like that. I like to start with the sketching. So this is, it used to be a company, it's called Icelandic Designs. It's, the owner is from Iceland, and so they do mostly for sweaters for skis and like a sports clothes for mostly women, like women's, wear. And I had an interview. I always look for some new projects. So the designer came to see my sketches and my work with little embroideries. So they hired me as a part-time. So I was flying to Denver because their headquarters was in Denver. That was interesting experience because basically I was living in a 5-star hotel. They meet me in the car, bring me to the office, and I was drawing in there. And so then they drove me back for the dinner. Then they picked me up again. So I was working in Denver. But I'm very fast whatever I do. If I sketch, I do a lot. If I knit, I do this quick. So I did a lot of sketches. And so I guess I produced so many sketches. Like fashion industry, they sometimes screw people. They had a lot of sketches for the whole year. So they fired me. So I left, but I still, like the company was kind of existed for some time, and I still see my sketches, I see the sweaters with my work on it. But anyway, so I was happy, basically any experience is a good experience, right? You're learning, you denying, or you taking work, or you not taking work. So you're becoming really cautious with whatever you're doing. So since I'm working with the magazines a lot, of course, they send me yarn, and I didn't know I have so much yarn. So in the summertime, I probably will have some kind of like a, I don't know, thing to sell my yarns. And I decided to learn how to do tapestries. So this is one of my second tapestries, actually. after visiting Japan. So it was kind of fun. I liked that. And I was experimenting while I was going. I was learning on the YouTube. So I never knew how to do this the right way or wrong way. I never followed the rules anyway. So I tried to do my best. And this actually, it's a triptychs of, this is my very first tapestry project. It's large. And I hate really combination of green and this hot pink. That's my most desirable colors. But I had that, so I decided to use them. So I did this flowers, and it's on my wall now. So I was really enjoying how to do this. Then I did top stitch embroidery, which kind of like, I don't know, it's a creative way to introduce maybe slightly dim the colors or, you know, add some details and stuff like that. So then they unfortunately you can't really see this close up. So this is another 3 little pieces of tapestry I did. When we visit Japan first time, we went to Boro Museum where I saw this incredible work, like blankets and all kimonos that were given from one generation to another. They were patching and stitching that with plain stockinette stitch, basically layers and layers, and you know, each blanket basically given from, you know, mothers to the another children giving to their children. So it's stitching, when you're stitching and stitching, so you're creating basically different colors. So my tapestries, and when I did the first, you know, like a simple tapestry layout, so I used the stitching to basically draw like with colors. So I can't really enlarge that. It's going to be probably an exhibition in Gallery North, all these 3 pieces in May. I got awarded Best in Fiber in September, so it's going to be a few pieces. So this is all my tapestry pieces, and the little pendants. I thought maybe I could start with a pendant. So this is a Japanese paper yarn. So I was doing a workshop how to do the pendant and learn how to do tapestry weaving in a miniature way. So if you learn that, you could create the larger piece yourself. So this is also my signature pockets again. And you could see this vest, red vest with gloves here. I brought this in here. And this is a skinny scarf. So this here, as I mentioned before, is skinny scarves and little bow ties around your neck, kind of like a funky little stuff instead of jewelry or choker. It's very popular this year. So I made quite a few of them. Some of them made from silk mohair, and this is from, it's French yarn. It's a stretchy yarn. I think it's a combination of mohair and acrylic. I don't remember exactly the structure of the yarn. So you could check this out right there. Here, it's basically when we went first time to Japan with my husband. So I was following, like probably all of you, you know, when you're on a Facebook or something, you following some textile artist or whatever, like whatever your interest is, right? So I was following one very interesting textile artist from Kyoto, Japan, who used to do eco printing and eco dyeing. He was using only natural leaves and flowers and stuff like that. He was doing work for children who didn't have parents during this disaster with, you know, tsunami. And so I was really following him. So, and when we decided to go to Japan, when my husband, I posted on his Facebook, like, please, if somebody could speak a little bit English when we come, would you please help us, you know, to show the way or something, because I have no idea what is it, exit or it's, you know, menu or whatever it is with language. And within a couple of days, there was a reply from the woman. She says, I will help you, I will be your tour guide, and I will guide you through the Kyoto. So we basically were there almost a month. We've landed in Tokyo. I visited beautiful museums, and so then we took a bullet train and we went to Kyoto. And I twisted my neck because I was like everywhere photographing and looking at these beautiful things. And so one day she met us and I said, well, Yuki, can you stay on that side? Because I can't really turn my head. So it's like, I think I'm going crazy here. So she said, oh, don't worry, Galina-san. My husband is a chiropractor. He would do something to you. And I said, no, I don't know. I'm sweating. I don't know what to do. So eventually she took me to her husband. He twist my arms and he did something to me and I was like brand new. So then I found out she has a gallery and she found out I'm an artist and I said, wow, that's great. So she came to visit a few months later. She came to New York to visit us. She stayed with us and she saw my studio, she saw my sketches, my work. So she offered me to do an exhibition. I said, listen, I can't just do hats and scarves. It will be ridiculous, to do that. So we have to think about story, like anything has a story. So I, came up with an idea. The collection will call Reaching Hands. I reach my hands through the round world for help, and another hand came back. And all my collection was basically about hands and the round shapes representing the world for collaborations and friendship. So this is sweaters I start to design. She gave me a year to do that. So because I'm obsessed with my glove pockets, so it was really right on target. So to have this hands, going through that. So I use a lot of polka dots, patterns, pom-poms, as you could see here. And this is another. So I created basically a small collection of knitwear and accessories. And I also brought my my sketches in there. So this is a few sweaters and with polka dots and glove pockets. And this is a scarf with the gloves where you could round yourself around the neck or do whatever you want to. And when I was developing this collection, she called me. We had this Zoom meeting. So she called me and she says, Galina, I would like you to add to your collection. I have a ceramic artist here. So can you do collaboration? I thought, oh my goodness, now I have to create something with ceramic tiles. But it's interesting because when you introduce something new, your brain is like, boom, you start thinking in a different ways. You don't know what to do with the ceramic tiles. I was scratching my head. So eventually, so she says, we're going to send you box. They send me box of huge, really heavy duty box with the ceramic tiles. And this ceramic artist, she does absolutely gorgeous sculptures and from ceramic artists. This is the sculpture she sent me. And this is the yarn basically I had, and I thought, well, I will do this sweater. It's asymmetrical sweater, and this is a designer, so she purchased this sweater when I brought there. Of course, my Henry is always with me. And this is my kind of logo I created with the help of my friend. I don't use the Photoshop. He helped me to do logo with the hands, Japan and America, with little ceramic tiles. So that was kind of like our poster in there. So that's what I created with the ceramic tiles. So this is a clutch, basically with little holes for handling, for holding the bag. And also I made bracelets and I attached this tiles to that. And I decided that I'm going to use not only crazy glue with the tiles, I was using the thread, colorful thread. And I thought it kind of looks almost like a crackling on the tile. So I thought it was more interesting. So then it was like a cushion pin. And so then I did the series of gloves and I attached little ceramics to the glove. So it was really popular. So this is the gallery in Kyoto. So I have a few days kind of, adjust when I arrived there. So the exhibition was for 2 weeks And so I came there for 3 weeks. So we kind of browse in the little galleries. And of course, every gallery here in New York too, it's usually signed, please do not touch. Please do not touch. And I said, Yuki, let's do something different. So we bought this white balloons and I used the marker and I said, please touch and try. Thank you. So the first day, it was opening Friday. There was only like 3, 4 people came and they purchased a couple pieces and they just looked, they were happy. But the second day, Saturday, I sold out. I was so shocked. So I did not expect that. And the people, so this is basically exhibition. So she has a beautiful display, which is a translucent things that made, her husband is really has a golden hands to construct anything. So they put my sweaters on fishing thread, which invisible from the ceiling. They were hanging there. And this is a beautiful construction of the display. It's made from translucent little pieces that you could kind of like a Legos put together or just destroy that after that. And you could create different shapes. So it was all along the wall, which you could see only the product. You don't see anything, right? Basically wall. So I thought it's very clever. So we put my sketches. Everybody wanted to buy sketches, but I couldn't because it was sketches for the magazines and it's, belong to the magazines. Basically, they pay me for that. So, and once again, I created this poster and the ceramic artist made ceramic sign. So she used her tiles creating the same thing. And we put this right in the entrance. And this is my happy customers. So they were trying this, they were trying that. So basically on the second day of my exhibition, it became like a fitting room. They were complimenting each other. They were trying to pull something and they said, oh, try that, try that. Oh my God, this is better for you. So people really like to touch. They like to really, admire each other. It was really kind of fun. They put things on me. I tried to also do something. And I said, listen, maybe we should do the fashion show. Maybe whatever who you are, maybe you should do that. Singing or dancing or something. And then one person, so she was an opera singer. So she came and she was performing opera. Well, first she started with America the Great. I was crying. Like in my honor, they were doing this on the stage, these things that's like, it was so touchy for me, First of all, I was never had successful show like that to sell out everything. And so and it was really, and everybody at the end, of course, everything stayed to the end of the show. We didn't really give people away, so they pick up their stuff only at the end. This is basically my little illustrations of whatever we have. Then I have a few workshops. Like if you could see the tapestry weaving, I did the workshop tapestry weaving pendant. That was very successful. And so people really like that, and they kind of took this technique to their own artistry because there was a lot of artists came to my place in between because the show ran from 12 to 6, and then we had a workshop. We couldn't kick out people until 9 o'clock p.m. So Yuki was exhausted, really. So she says, we need a break. But they didn't want to go. They just said, well, we want you back. We will buy you ticket. Please come again. So I said, my God, I was like an angel. I have started growing my wings in the back. So I thought, goodness, that was really cool. And of course, after 6 o'clock, when we have some time, Yuki took me to the studios of the different artists. And I thought and they wanted to have exhibition here in New York. I promised them I will start looking places to bring their, work here. And of course, they could share their experience, they could share their techniques. There was a quilt artist, she's incredible. She does huge quilts it's basically landscaping from 16th century Kyoto. The work is incredible. So then we went to Kimono Master, who does little embroideries, who paints, he's one of the kind person. He's only few of them left in Kyoto to do this custom Kyoto. Then we went to see this textile artist who I follow on a Facebook, and he invited us for breakfast, and there was famous nabe dish. It's a hot pot, like the Korean hot pot. It was really cool. So, and the people were so appreciated, and everybody gave me gifts at the end. So everybody came to say goodbye with a little present, and it was such a nice, experience for me. So this is again my customers. They photographing each other. They really trying everything on. In the meantime, the owner of the gallery, Yuki, she doesn't call this really gallery. She calls this connection center. So when people come, they not only looking at that. So she usually have a nice green tea and the sweets, and then people communicating. The artists sharing their experience, they inviting to each other. So I had so much fun in there. So they invited us for political meetings. I went to see politicians. Of course, I didn't understand a word, but so then, one night I was really tired. So she says, well, they invited us for discotheque for 70s. I said, really? So we went to the discotheques, and there was a music of 70s. Japanese people like to drink. They like to dance on the tables. So it was a lot of fun. So I won some kind of kitty that's kind of famous for the luck and stuff like that. That was a lot of fun. So I had so much fun that time. And so she's planning to do another exhibition in 2026, but I'm working on that. So this is a quilt artist. This is her quilts. So this is just a little pictures of what she does. It's really, she does this all different seasons. The work is really incredible, and her studio is like, she buys vintage kimonos. She washes them, and so she irons them, and she creates little swatches. Then she has basically map how she's doing that, because I'm not a quilter, but it was amazing to watch how she does everything. And of course, everything is in order. Beautiful. Oops. Okay. This is a studio of this textile artist. It's very narrow, like many Japanese houses, they have a narrow but kind of far, far holes, and with a little, Japanese garden. It was beautiful. So he used to do clothes, and he used to do the capes, and this on the bottom, a little composition. It's basically cuts from the patterns he was doing the clothes. It's like whatever he was cutting. So now he's making collages from that, plus adding a little bit of art in there. So this is a kimono master. We went to his studio, and so that's what they're doing. They do embroidery. He works with 18-karat gold and really specific designs. Yuki, actually, her daughter is supposed to be married, and so she has her own what is it called?
The crest.
The crest, yes. So
crest.
right. So he was embroidering that and putting a little gold in there. So he showed me the old techniques. So eventually, when we finished our exhibition, so she took me to beautiful city. It's called Uji. Uji is a city where they do tea. It's like every town has different like souvenir stores and stuff like that. This city is tea production, because it's a lot of mountains. They do green tea there. So you go to, walking on the streets, and each store has a tea. They have a roasting equipment in there. They roast in front of you. and they make sweets from that. So you could just point what you want and they do this for you. So it's a beautiful place. And of course, you know, the temples also, this is famous place with a temple. Oops. So this is my Japan, and this is back to New York. When I came back, I got another grant, and I was doing the illustrated history of Huntington. So I went on the streets, I did some photography of the historical buildings or in Huntington. This is our first church right here. And this is their museum, Huntington Historical. I don't know if you're familiar with Huntington much. So I did the sketching for that. So then we decided, because they do have a really incredible collection of costumes, and I did photograph their vintage collection, which was donated by local residents beginning from 1800s. Really amazing collection. So I did a lot of photography, then I did sketching, and we decided to print the sketches on the scarves also. But before I did printing scarves, their collection of 20s and 30s, I printed my own just to experiment to be sure that it will work. So that's why you could see probably my girls by sketches on these scarves. So when I was sure that we could wash the linen and we could iron the linen, we printed for Historical Society, and we also did the totes for them, like a shopping bags. This is basically the end of my presentation. This is just my watercolors and my girls, and that's what I do. And this is also, I'm working right now on a little collection of graphic girls. So you could see this, you know, I printed this. I have originals, which is like a 8x11, and I printed postcards. You know, some people like really cards. So here they are for sale if you would like to. The small one is $5, the bigger one $8, and the matted 15. So if you would like that, that's, you know, you're welcome to do that. And that's basically it. I'm really thankful to Craft Guild to inviting me here. You know, I'm happy that I'm part of you guys. And thank you. And if you have any questions, you know, we'll be happy to answer.
Are you going to go back to Japan to do another
Yes,
show?
yes. She offered me to do this in 2026 because I got another grant from the States. This grant, actually, I'm doing a new collection. It's called Pockets in Knitwear. Two of my new work for this collection I brought here. You could show, I could, you know, show you, you could see that. So one is because I do have a lot of this ceramic tiles, so I thought, you know, they're so beautiful, I have to use them. First one, I made a iPad clutch. So it's also with a hand. You could see that it's with lining. And the second one, I just made a sweater, and I thought I'm going to wear this today, but I'm always very hot, so I'm not. So I'm going to just to show you. And it's a pocket basically attached. You could use this as a pocket just on the little rope, or you could put this around your neck, like something like that. So this is like a beginning of my little, like maybe 5-6 pieces. But we do plan to have another, you know, exhibition in 2026. Well, you know, the request was for my sketches. That's why I'm kind of working right now. So I like this kind of whimsical look a little bit. So I like fun in my knitwear. And we'll see.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, maybe you don't understand my English like you are. I'm from different country. For you and I, we have something similar. I came from Turkey. I didn't speak English. And my husband is yours, like he's a journalism major. He taught me a lot of English. I went to school, whatever. I got my master's in, you know, clinical chemistry. Then I like art. I'm a knitter.
Oh,
That's the reason I'm very happy tonight. I met you because I wasn't gonna come. I was very tired. The reason is that whole day long I was teaching my daughter and my granddaughter knitting.
lovely.
I'm knitting and watching TV and watching them what they doing. And when I went home, I said, I don't think I'm gonna go to my husband. Then I said to myself, my name is Layla. I said,
Hi,
Layla, push yourself and go. You don't try, you know, go. And I'm very happy I came, you know, because the magazines you talk and everything, I have tons of them at home. So I love knitting, but now I have a little out of knitting because years ago, maybe 20 years ago, I was knitting every day. That was the only hobby that I had. And it's crazy. I could have finished a sweater in, you know, one day.
Oh,
At that time, they weren't selling any yarns if the, you know, Michaels or anything, the, you know, good yarn shops. And it was becoming very expensive, like $14 a yarn, bowl. I need maybe 10 of them to finish a simple sweater. And I'm not that rich. I said, this is going crazy because I'm finishing 1 week. I want to buy another one, addiction. And so I get into beading, then making, you know, silversmithing. Now I'm into more fuse glass.
oh, nice.
But I still do knitting here and then.
Thank
I won't
you.
take too much. But I'm very pleased to meet you and thanks for.
Oh, absolutely. Only knitters understand sometimes how much does it take to do the sweater and how much does it cost because, you know, one ball of yarn costs sometimes $25 and you use 10 of them, how much you could sell the sweater for, right?
I was just for myself, you know, very nice lady knitting store. She had Linda in, you know, Baldwin. And I went to buy a yarn there. I said to her, I'm just buying a yarn because I didn't know how to do it from the pattern. Just by myself, sit down, do a sweater. That's it. I'm sure you learned that way. And I was seeing people doing beautiful pattern, you know, perfect. And I asked, she said, you just buy the yarn, we'll teach you. And she taught me how to read. So I'm very, you know, appreciative of her too, how she taught me the reading.
Take my
So
card, I'll help
I
you.
will. I thank you very much.
Oh, sure, thank
Very
you.
good. Any other questions?
No more.
Mhm.
All right. I think we finished. So you're welcome to see what, you know, I have, touch and try. So thank you, everyone, and goodbye.